Why are we getting a negative? Are we getting a negative 26 cents? Hey there! I'm Chase. This is TCG Bulk Kings, where every card has value. You know, I've realized I've been getting a lot of comments lately about how do I ship things, what's my shipping process look like. You know, I did a video about it not that long ago, but then I went and looked at that video, and that was more than a year ago, almost a year and a half ago. I've moved states, I've moved facilities, I've definitely updated my processes between now and way back then. So I said, okay, whatever, I'm going to go into it. This is how we're shipping things in 2024. Do you want to say at the beginning that this is not a me telling you how to do it? It's not prescriptive. I'm not saying this is the best way or the only way, or, you know, if you don't do things my way, then you're wrong. I firmly believe that with any business, especially one as individualized as our types of business, that there are as many ways to operate as there are operators. Do whatever makes the most sense for your brain. This is the way that makes the most sense for my brain right now. I'm always looking at other ways to do things, so I'm constantly shifting or adding things to my processes, but this is the way I've settled on for right now. Also, I sell on a lot of different marketplaces, so for me, what works best is to try and universalize all of my processes for all those different platforms. So I want to try and have as similar a process as I can for eBay as I do for TCGplayer, as I do for buysportscards.com, as I do for my own website, etc., etc. Just the same way as for my sorting processes, I want it to be as close to the same for Magic as it is for Pokemon, as it is for Vice Force, as it is for football cards, as it is for baseball cards, as it is for Marvel cards or Star Wars cards, or whatever it is that I happen to pick up, V-Friends or Garbage Pail Kit, whatever, you know? So again, for me, my processes work best if it's the same type of process no matter what platform it is, and it's only slightly adapted to meet that platform. So I guess I'm going to get right into it. First step today, I've got some eBay orders to ship, so I'm going to get those packed up. I've got the invoices printed out here, and I just need to pull the cards real quick. Alright, so here's the cards I've got for order. Okay, for my eBay inventory, for my website inventory, those both I store always in sleeves. For my bulk website inventory, TCGplayer and buysportscards.com, I store those not in sleeves, and that's how I distinguish between the two different inventories. I'll do another video before too long about my inventory system. I'm still refining that, but seeing as I'm selling on so many platforms, I've got my own inventory system that I've got worked up. If they weren't in a sleeve, they would go in a sleeve. I'm using the shipping shields. You can use any type of rigid protector. You can use top loaders. You can use card savers. I prefer the shipping shields. This is just a preference on my part. They are comparable in cost to those other items. I like the shipping shields because I can get my branding printed on them, so I'm not including a flyer in most orders or anything like that. I like them because they're cardboard instead of plastic. They hold more cards. They more successfully, in my experience, get cards to where they need to go without damage. They're rigid but flexible, if that makes any sense. These are going to Raven. Thanks, Raven. Now, once this is sealed, it goes in a team bag. And this would be the same if you're using a different type of rigid holder, a top loader, or a card saver. I would still recommend putting in a team bag. Here's the invoice. We tape it on the invoice. Now I'm using Scotch tape. I know this is even saying the word Scotch tape is a cardinal sin among many card sellers. I prefer Scotch tape because the dispensers are easier on my desk. I don't like the way that the painter's tape feels on my fingers. It bothers my autistic skin for some reason. I don't like that it doesn't tear off cleanly. And I'm using it on places that are completely distant from the cards. so there's no reason to be worried about it getting sticky residue on the cards. There's no top loader that I'm putting sticky residue on, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright, so now I've got it packed up, and the invoice, it just needs to go in an envelope. This is the eBay standard envelope shipping. Now for my eBay standard envelope and for buysportscards.com, since they also do the standard envelope thing, I print the label directly onto the envelope with my Epson EcoTank printer. I wasn't doing that before I got this printer last year. I wasn't selling on eBay at the time, but I wasn't printing anything directly on the envelopes back then because ink cartridges were so expensive and it would blow through them so quickly. But yeah, so I got the label printed directly onto the envelope there. Works out great for me. I don't have to spend time to slap a label on it and make sure that I pay extra for the label on top of the envelope and all that. And then I use the number 10 envelopes. I do put the card in so that it's on this half, just like if you were to receive a credit card in the mail. If those go through the mail, this will go through the mail. So, and that's it. That's an eBay order done. So there, that wasn't too bad. It's pretty simple. The process is pretty straightforward, and it gets the job done. The cards get where they need to go. They're safe. They're protected. ESE comes with the insurance through eBay, so that helps out as well too. So yeah, that's how I do the eBay orders. Next up will be the TCGplayer orders. First thing is to pull the cards for the orders. I've got 2 days worth of orders today because I was having some migraines yesterday, which leaves me with yeah, 174 cards to pull, so that's going to be fun. Okay, got them all pulled. It's a pretty good sized stack of cards to ship out. Let's get that going. Alright, those are all printed out. Got them stacked up right here. They are in order, the same order that they are on the screen here for me, so I can't mix them up. And we'll just work down the list. Alright, we got the Siphon Mine from Onslaught. There it is. It's very important for systematizing this process to have all the supplies that you need close at hand, and the supplies you need the most often to be closest at hand. So sleeves, I've got right over here off the screen here, sleeves, shipping shields, team bags, packing slips, the cards I'm selling. This is my workspace. The tape is right here, as is my return address stamp. And then on that side over there is the printer that prints out the envelopes. All within arm's reach. I don't have to go anywhere. If I have to put something into a bubble mailer, they're right here behind me, or the bigger ones are up on top of the shelf behind me, because I don't use them very often. And you can see it's the same process. Card goes in a sleeve, sleeved card goes in a shipping shield goes in a team bag, wrap it up in the invoice. Now for these, I don't print the shipping directly onto the envelope, but I do print the customer's address directly onto the envelope using a template. I found it in OpenOffice. Anyway, I just copy the customer's address off of the order page and paste it into this envelope template and print it out. Before I was using a thermal printer to print labels with all these addresses on it, but I found that ended up taking about as much time as this, and I was avoiding using the printer, a regular printer then, because again of ink consumption issues, where this is no longer an issue because of the EcoTank. Anyway, I take my return address stamp here, pop it right on there, put a stamp on there, pop it in here. Again, same setup. Card is all the way to the side, just like on the eBay ones. Card's right there, and that makes sure it goes through the machines well. I know there are people who, there's all the Weishwartz cards that sold in that order. Like I said, there are differences of opinion on how to ship things, what's best, what's not best. I'm not trying to preach what's best. I'm trying to tell you what's working for me, how I'm doing it. Partially just for transparency for people who want to order from me, and partially to give you ideas in case it's something that you wanted to do. A lot of people say they don't like the shipping shields, or they don't even use top loaders or card savers at all. They just put it in a little cardboard flap that folds together and tape it closed. I don't like those. They seem cheap. Even if they work just fine, they seem cheap. A lot of what I'm doing is, you know, an inexpensive premium upgrade for that customer experience, right? Like, am I worried about the orders getting wet 99.99% of the time? No. But the team bag gives it that extra level of feeling like it's protected, and it only costs me like a cent, 2 cents. And I know I talk a lot about pennies adding up. When it comes to this side, we are concerned with, we're not getting customers just to make a sale. We're making sales to get customers. One of the things I mean by that, we're making sales to get customers, is that we get a sale, we do what we can to make sure the customer has the best experience possible within reason. Hopefully some percentage of those customers will become customers again and again and again. That's the idea behind pretty much everything we do in here. We don't want to, as cheaply as possible, get the card to the customer, and we don't want to give the appearance of cutting corners, right? If we give the appearance of cutting corners on this order, then they're going to expect us to cut corners on the next order and the next order. And so they're less likely to buy from us for next time, or for more expensive things, or whatever. We don't want to have a customer one time for our 10-cent card order, or our 20-cent card order, or our $1 card order. We want customers to buy from us over and over and over again. We're going to give the appearance of going the extra mile, and our feedback reflects that. We've got 100% feedback on TCGplayer, over 50,000 orders. Probably 15,000 of those are ones that I've shipped myself. I don't have an exact number on that. I'm not sure how to get an exact number on that. So yeah, maybe this seems like overkill on a 13-cent card order for this yet another Ether Vortex. But I'm not paying just for getting this card there. As I've explained in my older videos, this is about retaining a customer so that they shop from me again. Yeah, 100% positive feedback on TCGplayer, 100%, well, only one neutral order on eBay, and that was them being confused as to what an opaque back sleeve was. They'd never, I sent a card in a sleeve with a black back, you know, like a regular playing sleeve instead of just a penny sleeve, and they left a negative review because they thought I'd modified the card to have a black background on it, on the back, instead of being clear. They refused to revise the feedback after I explained to them, so what are you gonna do? I can't change that. Another thing that's a difference between a lot of people and me, a lot of people say you don't need the packing slips, especially for TCG orders. In fact, I used to not do packing slips on my TCG orders. I used to use the smaller envelopes, the number 6 3/4, rather than the number 10. And I wouldn't use a packing slip. But I switched to these because I was getting some of those back as damaged or non-machinable or whatever. It wouldn't go through the machines, right? They would get sent back to me. When I switched to these, or when I switched to these and used the packing slips, it kind of, like, you've got the envelope here, and there's a point here where it hits the rigid holder, whatever rigid holder you're using. The paper inside tends to smooth that out a little bit, and helps that go through the rollers a little bit easier. So if it's nothing over here, it's just empty envelope, then it's really flat, and then it hits that protector of whatever kind it is, and sometimes it catches right there. And with the paper in there, like I said, it smooths it out a little bit, makes it go through the machines a little bit better. I get fewer of them sent back or damaged in shipping, and that's worth it to me. You know, it's a penny per piece of paper. I'm going to go through all the costs and stuff later, but it's definitely, you know, worth it for me to make sure that the customer gets their order. This tape here is sufficiently far enough away from the card when they're taking it out, and the sleeve, even if it bumps against it, it's, you know, the sleeve is in the way. It's not taped directly onto the sleeve, so that keeps residue off the sleeve if you want to keep the sleeve. This has my branding on it. I can write a note on it. Thanks, Brandon. I love these shipping shields. They're a good solution for me. In the team bag. Now you could just skip the team bag. I prefer to use the team bag because it looks more professional. It's kind of an expectation for what premium looks like in the market. Tape it on there. You can use blue tape if you want, painter's tape. Like I said, I prefer the Scotch tape because the painter's tape feels weird to me, and I don't like the way it tears, and I don't like the way it sticks, and the residue on the team bag isn't that important because the team bag's going to get a little worn during shipping. No one's going to want to reuse it, right? So the only difference is basically the way the envelope looks at the end of it versus the eBay shipping method. And the same works out for buy sports cards too, or if I was shipping something that I sold through my website, it's the same as TCGplayer. I've got the address, I'll have an invoice, I'll pack it in. So it just works out exactly the same way. I do absolutely think it's worth my time, again, to go ahead and write a thank you note in each of these for the customer. Again, it adds that human touch, lets them know I'm a real person. They see their name, and so it draws their attention to the branding that's right there. It's front and center. I mean, this is a nice looking presentation right here, right? In my opinion, anyway. Looks good. Hopefully get some people to go and check out the website, tcgbulkkings.com. Okay, yeah, here we got a big Pokemon order. So we'll just start gathering all those up. That is a decent order right there. $7.89 worth of cards. 3 pages on the packing sheet, packing slip for it. Alright, so I'll take these cards, get them in a brick here. Get my team bag. Put them all in the brick together like that. This is how many cards? 50 cards total. Now there are people who try to send these plain white envelope. They've even had some success with it. In my experience, trying to get more than 16 cards in a single plain white envelope just doesn't work. They always get sent back to me as not being enough shipping, or they're being too thick, so they have to be a parcel or something like that. Even if I put the appropriate amount of weight postage on it, they send it back because it's too thick. So I will close that up in the team bag as tightly as possible so the cards can barely move. Then I'll take the packing slip and I'll fold it up. Since I'm not including a shipping shield, I will drop in one of my little flyers here. I got these printed at Vistaprint, so have a look at them if you need something like that. 000 bubble mailer here. These are great for these kind of things. Very simple, small packaging, no excess. Really cheap to get. You can get these on eBay itself for like 5 to 10 cents a piece, maybe even cheaper, just depends. I got a whole big box full of them. Just drop it all in there. You can see in there, it's all in there. Close it up, and it's just big enough for a shipping label to go onto. So I will copy their information over to Pirate Ship. Print the label on my Rollo printer. I did get a Rollo printer not too long ago. I got rid of my Dymo printer and I picked up this Rollo printer. I was having problems with the 2" by 7" shipping labels that I was printing on my Dymo printer, and because the barcodes just weren't working at the post office. So I don't know if it got dirty and old or if it was just an issue with their stuff. Any which way, I was having issues with it, so I got rid of it. I got the EcoTank printer, so I wasn't using it to print address labels anymore, and so I was only printing shipping labels on it, and it wasn't working anymore. So I got rid of that, and I picked up a brand new Rollo printer, and it's working great. I like being able to print 4x6 labels instead of just the 2x7". So yeah, definitely worth it for that. We take the tracking number from Pirate Ship and we paste it over here on TCGplayer, and that order is done for you, Kevin. So this is 8 cards. It's the maximum I'll put into a single shipping shield. But yeah, 8 cards fits in there just fine in the penny sleeve. That fits just fine up in the shipping shield. Squeeze it flat, tape it shut. Looking good there. Put our little note on here. Thanks, Phil. And same old procedure. The only difference here is that we're going to put an additional ounce stamp on the envelope, because with these shipping supplies and this many cards, it pushes it just over an ounce. If I don't put an additional ounce stamp on there, they will send it back to me, or they'll charge Phil parcel shipping, and then he'll message me angry, which we don't want. It would be simpler still if TCGplayer had an integrated shipping system like eBay and Buy Sports Cards does. So TCGplayer, if you're listening, if that's something you're working on, let me know. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's roll it out. I will be the biggest advocate of that system you've ever had, you could ever think of, because it would be so much simpler than having to pick up stamps all the time. Thanks, Derek, ordering this Go-Goat. I would love to be able to just print the shipping from TCGplayer directly onto the envelope without having to go through a service that costs extra, like stamps.com or something like that. Now I hear stamps.com, again, is a service that works for a lot of people. When I tried it out, 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't really like it very much. I didn't understand you could print the stamp directly onto the envelope at the time. I thought you had to buy their proprietary stamp supplies to print it onto, but even so, like you have to pay for a subscription, and I didn't like it. Maybe they've changed, maybe I've changed, maybe I'll look into them at some point, but right now this is what's working for me. I'd rather not have to integrate another system. If TCGplayer, if you could just do it, that would be amazing. I do hear that the issue with because we've been expecting, we TCGplayer sellers have been expecting for a long time that this type of standard envelope system would be one of the first and biggest things to get carried over from the eBay purchase, right? And it just hasn't. There hasn't been much that's carried over from the eBay purchase so far. It's been pretty dry as far as updates or things that have changed. So we've definitely been expecting to see the standard envelope service is something that would transfer over. Alright, the last order I have to ship today, 2 copies of Search for Tomorrow. Okay, so all that's out of the way. I wanted to take a little bit to talk about the costs associated with these supplies and about the fees that TCGplayer specifically charges, because they've just changed their shipping credit, and I wanted to go over the effects of that real quick. So I've got the whiteboard out here. Let's have a look at all that. We've seen the different supplies that I use. So the most expensive one obviously is the stamp at 0.68 cents currently here at the end of February 2024. Then you also have the let's see, the penny sleeve. Now, I don't pay for penny sleeves. I have thousands and thousands of them that I've taken in from collections that are basically brand new. So I'm just reusing them. If they're crinkled or they're dirty or anything, obviously I'm not reusing them. But, I mean, I get collections where, 10,000 cards out of the 50,000 card collection have sleeves on them. They don't need sleeves on them. So I save them. But if you are buying penny sleeves, they cost a penny. If you're paying more than a penny, you're getting robbed. Usually you can get them even for less than a penny if you buy 500 at a time or 1,000 at a time. Let's see. Also, we've got whatever rigid protector you're using. I use the shipping shields. But top loaders and card savers cost about the same amount, no matter what you're getting. They're right now in the ballpark of 8 cents a piece. There's the team bag. Those are about 2 cents a piece. If you're using the graded card sleeves, they're a little bit pricier, 3 or 4 cents a piece. Then you've got the piece of paper that the invoice is printed on. It's about a penny per sheet. And then the envelope. Envelope prices have gone up since I've started buying. They are about 4 cents per envelope for the self-adhesive kind. I like the self-adhesive kind better than the kind that you have to moisten. Even if you're using a moistener, it just feels... How is the customer going to be able to tell you didn't put your tongue all over their order, right? So that's not where I want to be. I'd rather pay a cent or two, and especially in the time post-pandemic, I don't want to mess around with looking like I'm giving everyone germs. So that's where I am on those type of envelopes. So 4 cents a piece, about as cheap as I can find them. Let's see. The printer ink is insignificant. So yeah, that's pretty much the cost, right? So if we add that up, that's 70, 80, 84 cents per order cost. Now that's for orders that are not more than 6 cards and require an additional stamp. That's for orders that it's TCGplayer, like I said. With eBay, the ESE fee is 64 cents instead of 68, so it's a little bit less expensive, but all the other supply costs are the same. So that would be, what, 80 cents with the ESE fee and all that added in. So, yeah, definitely things to consider there. Now, as far as TCGplayer's fees, so starting tomorrow, February 28th, they are increasing the selling credit. So up to today, if your order is under $5, then you still pay a minimum of 99 cents shipping credit, but they are changing that starting February 28th to $1.22 minimum. The effect that this has, that's a plus 23 cents, plus 23 cent increase. Now, if we look at the way the fees are calculated on an order that's 5 cents, ending today, but today, for shipping, we're adding 99 cents for $1.04, and then they charge the fees on top of that. So I, as a pro seller and a direct seller, I pay fees of 8.95% and 2.5% and 2.5% and 30 cents flat. And what this comes out to totaling is 13.95% plus 30 cents. Now this one is the marketplace fee, this one is the pro seller fee, and these together are the credit card or PayPal fee. So on $1.04, what that comes out to is 14.5 cents. It rounds to the nearest even penny, I think. Applying this here, about 45 cents. And they'll round it to the nearest penny, I think. And they use bankers rounding, which is a little weird. It depends on when they apply the rounding. Anyway, for a 5-cent card order, it is 5 cents of rounding, or it is 45 cents of fees that get paid. That comes out of the $1.04, which leaves 59 cents. That's what I get paid out. That's not great, considering it's 84 cents to ship it, leaving me 25 cents in the hole, right? Now it's going to change, $1.22 instead of 99 cents. So the customer is going to be charged $1.22 instead of 99 cents. So this total order value is going to be $1.27 now instead of $1.04. And then you take that 13.95% plus 30 cents and apply it there. So now it's going to be about 18 cents plus 30, so 48 cents out of the $1.27. That's going to make this 79 cents. So I'm now, instead of losing 25 cents, I'm going to be losing about 5 cents. That is a lot more acceptable number to lose on those orders, even when they don't occur very often. Like, it took me a while to find a 5-cent order so I could look at the fees to double check my math. But yeah, so the break even, 84 cents, we can calculate that too. Why are we getting a negative? We're getting a negative 26 cents. Okay, I got the minor algebra worked out now. I was forgetting the flat fee from the PayPal fee. So anyway, we want to do our break even, which means the cost associated with shipping it equals exactly the payout. So we know our costs are 84 cents. So we want our payout to be equals 84 cents. We know our payout equals our order amount minus our fees, right? Our order amount is our product amount plus our shipping credit, and our fees are our fee rate times our order amount minus the flat fee. Hopefully this is legible. This is just this. Now we can plug in all our numbers. 84 cents on this side. We don't know the product amount. It's what we're trying to find. We're going to call it P. The shipping credit is 1.22 minus our fee rate, which is 0.1395 times P plus 122 minus the flat 0.3. 30 cents. So some algebraic jiggery pokery to get this all figured out. You can check my work if you want. But our P, our product amount, comes out to being about 10 cents to break even, given my cost of supplies. Your cost of supplies may be different. If you are only spending 80 cents, then this is going to be lower. You know, this would be 80 over here instead of 84. If you are spending $1, then this is going to be higher, obviously. So, but that's given how I'm working. If I can continue to buy supplies at the rate that I'm buying them, and the shipping rate doesn't change, then I'm going to break even on a 10-cent sale. Anything below that, I'll lose a penny or two. Anything above that, I'm profiting. So before, you could see I was having a loss on orders that were up to like 23, 24, 25 cents. And past that, I was profiting. And I was okay with the loss on those orders, even on 5-cent orders, because it gave me a chance to market to people who would probably be interested in buying from me again, showing off my my shipping practices, maybe get them to look at my website and see if there's anything interesting there for them, all that kind of stuff. Just looking at my TCGplayer orders that I ship out, not the direct orders, but the ones I ship out, I was getting a rate of about 3 to 4% repeat buyers, which is, honestly, I think that's pretty good given the platform. I don't know what other people's rates are. If you can tell me what your rate of repeat buyers is, go ahead and leave a comment for me below. I'd love to hear it. I want to know what the average might be. But yeah, I was okay with losing, 5, 10, 15 cents on an order, even up to 20 cents on an order every now and then, to get access to customers who would potentially be interested in making more purchases from me or interacting with me in a different way, either through eBay or through Buy Sports Cards, or buying from my website, or maybe they haven't seen my video content, so now they're interested in watching my video content, all this kind of stuff. But now that's going to be helped out quite a bit. The payout for the added shipping credit of 23 cents, an extra 23 cents, that's going to cause about 2 cents extra in fees. So the other 21 cents is going to go to me, which more than offsets a lot of those losses. As you can see, the break-even amount is down to 10 cents now. Anything below that, I'm out a penny or two, and anything above that, I'm being paid to market to these people. Doesn't sound bad at all. Instead of paying 10 cents or 15 cents to show these off, I'm making 5 cents or 10 cents and showing those things off. Or on those orders between 5 cents and 10 cents, I'm only spending an extra penny or two. Again, this is how I like to ship my orders. This is how I like to send them out. This is not me saying this is the best way. This is not me saying that this is the only way. This is not saying that if you do it my way, you're doing it wrong. There are as many ways to ship cards as there are people shipping cards. Do whatever process gets you to get the cards out the door, right? If you've got 50 orders to ship, it doesn't matter as long as they get there and as long as you get them gone, right? So whatever you can systematize, whatever you can put together, whatever you can make so that it's easy for you to get the hard work done, do that. This is what works for me. I'm not going to argue that top loaders are better than shipping shields. I'm not going to argue that card savers are better than top loaders. I'm not going to argue the merits or demerits of using an invoice in the envelope or using smaller envelopes or Scotch tape versus painter's tape. I can just tell you my preferences, just tell you what I like to do, which is what this whole video has been about. And like I said, I'm really excited about the change in the shipping credit that TCGplayer is introducing. I don't expect it to change the behavior of buyers pretty much at all. The last time they did that, it didn't change buyers' behaviors. If it does change buyers' behaviors, that may possibly cause some people it may cause a few people to be more likely to push orders above $5 by buying more product in order to prevent having to pay the extra shipping. And it may cause more people to order through direct for the same reason. Either way, I'm good with. If you're buying a $6 order from me instead of a 6-cent order from me, I'm good with that. If you're buying from me through direct, I'm good with that. So any behavioral changes that might happen because of this actually end up benefiting me and other sellers like me rather than working against me. And then if that doesn't change, it's still beneficial. So all in all, really good change on TCGplayer's part. I would really like it if they could figure out a way to do the integrated shipping like eBay and BSC do. So really looking forward to that. I've been waiting a year for that, hoping it comes at some point. Let's get on it, TCGplayer. When you do roll it out, let me know. I will let everybody else know and be really excited about it, unless for some reason it's not very good. This was a long one. Thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end here. If you have any comments or questions or anything like that, comment below. Like the video if the information provided was interesting or helpful. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more stuff like this. Check out my website. Check out the links below for all the products and stuff that I've shown in the video. A lot of those are affiliate links, which I will get a kickback from if you do buy something. But if you don't want to buy it through my link, that's fine. Just this is what I'm using. So just to be perfectly transparent, that's where they are. Now, here in a few days, I'm going to do a video about my new to me, I don't know if it's new to anybody else, inventory system that I've set up for my cards that I've got listed back here. When I get that put together and published, I'll put a link to it right up here, here in the end screen here. Until then, it'll be an interesting video for you of some kind. But once I get that published, I will change this over to my inventory system video. And hopefully that's something that will be interesting for you too. So before you... Good, I just died. Where are you going, camera?